architecture of the ZFS. And this is standard. If you see the standalone, the difference between the standalone and the traditional architecture for the ZFS appliance, we are having the ARC, L2 ARC, and the disk storage pool. And this is the traditional storage system, NVRAM and the disk. So if I come to the ZFS appliance, so whatever the data I am storing in the RAM, so it comes under the ARC, Adaptive Replacement Cache. And whatever the data that needs to be stored in the RAM, if the RAM is not capable of holding that particular object in the RAM ARC, therefore it will transfer that object to the L2 ARC. So therefore the object will be sustained and will be persistently available in the L2 ARC. This L2 ARC has been configured from write SSDs. So therefore, whenever a user is performing a read operation, it will check whether the object is available in the ARC. Yes, it is not available. Therefore, it will go for the L2 ARC. If the object is not available in the L2 ARC, therefore goes to the normal storage pool, and it will fetch the object and it will throw to the user. So this is how the architecture has been happening within the ZFS. And for the total pool configuration, this is the profile configuration. What we select the profile for the number of 18 disks what we have remaining. So for this remaining 18 disks, we will create the profile. So for this profile is specifying the profile for the 18 disk is nothing but specifying the right configuration. So at the OS level, we are specifying the right configuration for the storage level. So we can select the right configuration, either double parity, mirrored, stripe, triple mirrored, and triple parity and white stripe. Now let me give the example of mirrored. Suppose if I select the mirrored, so therefore all the disks are configured in a mirrored fashion. Even if one disk gets failed, other will be available, and the availability of disk will be more, and the performance will be more, and the capacity of storing the data will decrease. So here for 18 disks, I can store only up to 9.85 TB only, not more than that. So this is how I am decreasing my performance. Suppose if I am selecting the stripe concept, so therefore there won't be any mirroring. Even if the disk got lost, therefore the availability of data will be very less, and the performance will be more, and the capacity is getting increased with the 21.5 T. And if I want to use the storage pool, therefore I need to create the projects and the shares. Project is nothing but the logical group of shares, and share is nothing but the file system which is equivalent to the file system. We need to create the shares, and we need to specify the properties to the share, and therefore we need to mount the share to the existing compute node. And we will be configuring the standalone ZFS servers as well. And we have the capacity of 292 GB of write cache and the 4 TB of read cache as well. And here we are having the next slide, we are having the failback. As I told you, like two compute nodes will be working as an active passive configuration. Now, so the blue symbol, the green symbol which are representing in the left hand side, so this is called storage node 1, and the right hand side is known as the storage node 2. And the green symbol which blinking over there represents is the active node, and the right hand symbol which is showing the blue mark represents is a passive node. Now at any point of time, we can make the active and passive, active as a passive and passive as a active by clicking on failback option. If you click on this failback option, therefore the roles of the storage nodes will be get diverted. Now the time taken for these two storage nodes will depend upon the grace period. We call it as a grace period. By default, the minimum Oracle is giving the 60 seconds to change. So whenever failover happens, whatever the shares that has been mounted on the compute nodes, it will be unavailable, and the application will be not be in access at that particular point of time, which is a 60 seconds, which won't be more than 90 seconds. So which is which can be ignorable. And if you need to analyze the statistics of the storage, therefore we can select the DTES analytics, which can be used to do the statistics of each and every component and each and every CPU utilization. So if you click on this add statistics, therefore it will show you the groups. We have the different classes. In each and every class, we are having different components. Like in the cache class, if you want to see the ARC access or L2 ARC statistics or L2 ARC IO statistics, so therefore I can see and I can view about each and every statistics by selecting with the help of DTES analytics. So within the storage itself, I can view the statistics. Suppose in the compute node, if I need to have the if I need to find the statistics, therefore I can use the top command, something like that. So in the same fashion, In storage appliance, if I need to find the statistics, so therefore I can use the statistics from dtrace analytics. With the help of this dtrace analytics, we can even schedule the statistics for each and for a period of time. So the below graph what you are showing, I have taken the statistics for NFS 3 version 3 operations and it's been representing. Yes. Now what about the backup that I am taking? Then what about the backup